Okay, so when most of us think about libertarian choice, we think of they had the capacity, both morally and physically, not just the natural capacity, but both morally, they were able to humble themselves and confess their sin, or to suppress the truth and unrighteousness and grow hardened and calloused to that truth. They had either option on our view.
So free will is the moral and natural ability to do otherwise? So how do you answer then Joseph's brothers when it says they could not speak peaceably? The Bible says they could not. I've shown how naturally they could have, natural faculty-wise they could have, but morally speaking they could not have, because the Bible says they could not. But according to you, they could. They had free will means they have both the natural and moral. So I guess either you're wrong or they didn't have free will. Which is it? Now, and here's the problem is he paints ability to do otherwise and he mixes and he just says both the moral and natural ability. But he doesn't justify, as I've laid out, the differences between those two things. He throws out those words because Calvinists talk about those things and that's how we explain these things. But he just says, oh, we believe that we had both the natural and moral ability to do those things. So let's start with the idea of a mother will say, I cannot murder my child. I just can't do it. And they use the word can't, cannot, unable, right? But if you stop and ask them, wait a minute, what do you mean you can't? There's nothing stopping you from physically doing it, right? There's 101 different ways that a mother can murder her child. They're all there. They're all, quote unquote, possible. But that is talking about the natural faculties, naturally speaking. But on the moral level here, a mother, she says, I cannot murder my child. It's not that she can't physically do it. It's not that she can't hypothetically have the natural means of doing it in all sorts of different ways. She can't murder her child because of the moral love, the disposition of love that she has for her child, right? It prevents her from taking a natural action in that sense. So what am I getting at here? I'm getting at the difference between natural ability and moral ability is a reality. If we were to ask mothers if they could murder their children, most of them would insist that they're unable to do it, right? They use the word unable, period. And this inability that I explained, as I explained it already, is a moral inability, not a natural one. And if you were to insist, as Leighton does here, that, well, you are in fact morally and naturally able. If you were going to tell a mother who says to your face, I cannot murder my child, and you're going to insist to that mother, no, actually you can. You are morally able to murder your child. Those mothers would get extremely offended by that, right? Because their entire basis for their inability to murder their children is the great disposition of love that they have for them. And for you to suggest that they are not just naturally able to do it, but also morally able to murder their children would be for you to be questioning their love rather than affirming their love. And it would offend them. If you're going to affirm their love, then you would say, okay, you're not able to murder your children. That's a good thing. It's a good thing that you have a moral inability in this particular instance. But for you to insist that free will means that you have the moral ability to do these things means that you would be questioning the very dispositions of love that are preventing these mothers from ever even thinking of doing these things. And so this is why free will sounds great on the fly. It sounds like something, what we relate to on a daily basis. But when you just dissect the claims and flesh out what is actually being said, free will turns from something that sounds good on the fly into something that makes a mess out of reality.